Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to ICE platform. I'm Neelam Parshuram from IC Ventus team. Thank you for joining once again this Tuesday. For those who are attending this webinar for the first time, welcome to our weekly industry webinar series, where every Tuesday we connect professionals, experts, and learners from elevators and escalator industry on one common platform. Hope my voice is audible. While we are waiting for a few more participants, I'll take a couple of minutes to share what does IC do and how do we work with the industry. So ICE platform is designed to share practical knowledge, industry insights, and real world experience that can help you grow professionally and stay updated with the latest development in the industry. We are glad to see participants joining in from different locations, and we truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to learn, to gain insights, and upgrade your knowledge with us today. So, it is an initiative by IC Ventus. IC Ventus also organizes exhibitions, trade shows, and industry events. We create a platform that supports learning, collaboration, and business growth. IC Ventus has become a trusted bridge connecting regional markets with global opportunities. Our upcoming shows, first is IC India 2026, will be held on 3rd, 4th, and 5th December in Delhi, proudly making the capital city the host of this year's edition. With strong industry support, IC has grown into the world's fourth largest exhibition for elevators and escalators, reflecting the trust and collaboration of the entire industry. This year's expo is planned across a massive area of 40,000 square meters, featuring 350 plus exhibitors, making it one of the largest gathering of vertical transportation industry in India. So get ready and plan your visit accordingly. We recommend you to at least plan for 2 days visit to experience the scale of this expo. Building on this momentum, we would like to announce I see the monsoon edition in Chennai, featuring the quiz, symposium, and the dynamic industry exhibition, scheduled for August 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2027 in Chennai Trade Center. The monsoon edition reflects Chennai's regional weather calendar. Held before the monsoon season, it creates a perfect time for the industrial professionals to network, plan upcoming projects, and discuss solution before the operational slowdowns typically caused by heavy rains. Our next show is IC Africa 2027, will be held from 24th, 25 to 26 November in KICC, Nairobi. You may know, as you may know, that Kenya is emerging as one of the fastest growing market in Africa for infrastructure and urban development, creating significant opportunities for the elevators and escalator industry. In this context, IC Africa 2027 will bring global manufacturers, suppliers, industry leaders to showcase safe, innovative, and sustainable vertical mobility solutions and drive growth across Africa's vertical transportation sector. Moving forward, so we have recently launched IC Papers. So the vertical transportation industry has always been built on knowledge shaped by experience, innovation, and real world challenges. Yet much of this knowledge often remains scattered, undocumented, and limited to the individuals and organizations. That's why e-papers, ICE papers is created, a platform designed to bring industry close together. It's a space where you can share knowledge, showcase your professional journey, and even highlight your interest beyond work. It also helps you connect with professionals across the industry and learn more about the people you work with. In addition, ICE papers will feature company profile, research articles, industry insights, and updates on the events happening in the vertical transportation sector, all in one place. This platform is built for the industry, by the industry, and for the industry to encourage learning, collaboration, and growth. If you are part of vertical transportation ecosystem, this platform is for you. Please do visit the website icpapers.com, and you can also follow us on social media platforms as well. So moving on to our today's session, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ronald D'Souza from Indo EU Consultancy, Switzerland and Austria. Dr. D'Souza brings extensive international experience, having worked with Otis Australia and Schindler Corporation, Switzerland, with hands-on experience across installation, maintenance, sales, procurement, and technical training. Today, he will be speaking on the European lift market potential for Indian companies, where he will provide an overview of the European Union, its lift market, relevant regulations and codes, and possible strategies for Indian companies to enter this market. This session will be especially valuable for the companies who are looking to expand internationally and understand European markets, requirements, and opportunities. With that, I will like to invite Mr. Ronald D'Souza to take over this session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, you can see my screen.
Yes, but I
And
think so. The view is different.
oh, why? Okay, let me just go and screen share again.
Yes.
Ah, yes, maybe this one. It's good.
Yes, now we can see it clearly.
Oh, all right. Thanks. Yes, very good afternoon to all of you from my side. I saw that there are 17 participants. Maybe some more will join. That's good. So I'm here in Vienna right now. Just yeah, 10 minutes past 1 p.m. I presume you are at different parts of India. It must be quite warm there because monsoon is still a bit far away. Here, the summer has started, no, but not too hot. Yeah, glad to meet you all here virtually and hope that we will meet also once personally. This, yeah. Today, I will speak on these four topics: the European Union, an overview, the European lift market, then the codes, standards, and the law. Finally, I will go to the marketing and sales strategies. Why the European Union? Because it's a different market. And anyone entering a new market, I believe that you should know also the political and social system to get a better feeling. It will help you. Then the European lift market, naturally, an overview again, and then the codes and standards. Each slide, each part will be about 10 minutes. So that means 40 minutes. and finally about 10 minutes for the question and answers. So you should be done about 50 minutes or so, maximum 1 hour. You can see me now? Yes. The European Union, we call it here sovereign countries, but supranational institutes. That means there are 27 member countries now, currently. They are all sovereign countries. Sovereign countries means they have their own army, they have their own taxes, tax systems, but some of their what you call what they can do are delegated to the European Union, to those supranational institutes. That's why we call it European Union, but the members are sovereign countries. Not like in India, India is a nation, but we are federal states. But here are the sovereign states. You can see in the picture a comparison, how many countries are there, which countries are there. On the right side, the white one, that's Russia bordering. The biggest countries, maybe you can see my mouse, if you can see France, Spain, Germany, Poland, Romania, Italy as well. And just in comparison, the EU has 4.23 million square kilometer. India is almost there, 3.29 square kilometer, out of which the land for agriculture is in Europe a bit less, I mean 40 up to 41%, according to the statistics. In India, about 55 to 60% of the land is for agriculture. In Europe, the forest is around up to about 39%. In India, about 25% of the land is forest, much lesser than in Europe. Habitable, 4 to 6% in the EU. In India, 50 to 20%. Naturally, our population is much higher. We have bigger cities, big areas for habitation. Population-wise, India has about thrice, a bit more than 3 times is the population of the European Union. Countries in European Union, 27. In India, the states, currently 29 states. The EU is a unique political and economic union. There is nothing similar to anywhere in the world. You must have heard, or if you are in Europe, okay, you always use the Eurozone. There are no internal borders. That means you can go from one country to the other, like Schengen visa. Businesses licensed in one country, that's enough. You can operate in another country without a new license. Let's say a medical doctor. If you are a medical doctor and you are licensed in Austria, you can, without a new license, you can practice in, let's say, Portugal. Same for the lawyer, same for any business. So no barriers to re-export within the EU countries, no customs. That means you bring your goods in one country and then from that country you can re-export to any other country without borders. What we call here free movement of people, goods, goods and services, and money. So in the Eurozone, Denmark has opted out, but otherwise all 27 countries will be joining the Euro. I think still to come are uh, Sweden and maybe other Balkan countries. Yes, there is a convergence criteria. They have to meet this criteria, then they can use the euro currency. And in Schengen, only Ireland and Cyprus are not in Schengen, but all other countries are in Schengen. By the way, Schengen was, I think it's a small town in somewhere in Belgium where the treaty was made. That's why it's called Schengen. visa. And apart from the European Union, I mean, Iceland, Norway, Liechtenstein, Switzerland are also part of Schengen. That means if you have a visa for Germany, you can enter Switzerland, although it is not a member of the European Union. What are the aims of the EU? You can read very novel aims: promotion of peace and well-being of its citizens, freedom, security, and justice without internal borders, an internal market, promotion of scientific and technological progress. So the EU has programs, for example, to promote all this. One program is that European Union Scientific Research and Technological Development Policy. Under this policy, the EU brings the scientists together, scientists from universities, also from private industry. The EU gives out a huge sum of subsidies for fundamental basic research, not applicable research, but basic research. And also it cooperates with countries like India. Also, the values of the European Union, for you to know: human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, rule of law, and human rights. These are extremely important here in Europe. So these are the values which the European Union upholds. Yes, we are in 2026. We have come so far, but it did not happen one day to the other. The first treaty, the first was in 1951, the European Steel and Coal Community. Steel and Coal Community. Just think about that for 10 seconds and maybe you can think why steel and coal. Maybe you can write it in the comments later if you can guess or if you know. But it was in 1951. The Second World War ended in 1945, and 1947 India was free. So 1951 was this treaty for steel and coal. There were only 6 founding members, and it took another 6 years to make another treaty, Treaty of Rome. There are statesmen, there are all countries who worked for that. It's a very interesting history. And then it was called European Economic Community, created a common market. Then it was a 1986 Single European Act to focus on one single market. Then 1992, the Treaty of Maastricht in the Netherlands, where the treaty was signed. That's why it is called Treaty of Maastricht, which created European Union. Although basically it is still called European Community, but somehow the European Union, the term, has become widely used and also officially used. The latest one was Treaty of Lisbon, 2007. By the way, the European Union does not have its own constitution. There was a big attempt in 2004, 2003 to prepare a constitution. The constitution was prepared. Treaties were signed, but before ratification, I think France and the Netherlands put it in front of its citizens to decide. And the citizens of France and Netherlands rejected to take this European Union's constitution, and that's why the Treaty of Lisbon 2007, which focuses on the Treaty of European Union and Treaty on Functioning of the European Union, or the fundamental documents. So several new members came. As you could see, first members were only 6 members, 1951, then 1973, 81, 86, 1995, 2004, up until 2013. So several East European countries joined. Austria joined in 1995, also the Nordic countries, etc. Now there are 27 members. By the way, UK, United Kingdom, joined in 1973. France did not want the UK to join, but somehow, yes, it was given the membership. Unfortunately, UK left in 2020. They had a referendum in 2016 and they decided to leave, but they have close cooperation with the European Union. Just quickly on on the institutes, there is a European Commission. It's the executive branch, like the government. Then there is European Parliament, which is the legislative, and Court of Justice, judiciary. And then there are European Council, or you could say Council of the heads of governments, who define the policy, etc. And then there is a European Central Bank, which oversees the monetary policy or decides about the monetary policy. Uh, just to close, yeah, the EU is most liberal and social societies in the world. One cannot become overnight rich here, and one cannot also become poor. There is social net for anyone who is in the European Union. Rule of law, reliability and trust in business anywhere. Just to add that conflict management, yeah, quarrel culture is rational, not emotional. That means, yeah, in India, we could get emotional, but here it is only what is law, so one cannot get emotional. Or at least not to that extent as in India. But strong regional differences exist. Language, food, culture, etc. Italy, food is totally different than, let's say, in Finland. Language different, culture is also different. So strong regional differences exist. Some business practices and rules are different compared to, let's say, United States or India. Now I come to the European lift market. You could see, I mentioned about the population. Then let's say, what is the GDP? All these 27 countries combined, we have 19.5 trillion US dollars compared with India's 3.9 trillion. But if you take the purchasing power parity, it goes a bit higher. The EU around 28 trillions, whereas India is 15 to 18 trillion. That means the PPP factor is in India about 3.8 to 4.2. That means with $1 in India, you can buy, yeah, $3.8 worth of goods, like in the United States, for example. Yeah. So per capita nominal income in EU is $43,000 per year. It's per year. In India, about 2,695. Coming to the lifts, um, in 2023, according to the European Lift Association, 136,000 lifts were installed. In India, from one statistic I could get, there were about 60,000 lifts, possibly including escalators, I'm not sure. But the European Lift Association, that's only the lifts were installed. Then about the growth, yes, India has a higher growth. The EU has, now at the moment projected is about 0.8 to 1.4%. I think now revised even lesser, 0.8 to 0.9% because of the war in the Middle East. India had about 6.4 to 7.3%. Uh, I hope it will remain there. Nevertheless, yes, India has higher growth, but just look at the basics. Even if it's just 1% growth in Europe, it adds in the absolute sums, it adds more to that. Doing business with the European Union, uh, you have access to a single market. Yeah, you have access to single market. That means you have access to all these countries, 27 countries. They have high purchasing power and large demand. You saw the statistics. Uh, there is a well-established and safe regulatory environment. That means rules are clearly stipulated, they are observed, they are implemented, court system works, uh, Chamber of Commerce is there to help you. Governments, they support you. Local governments especially are very happy if new business come in. And one more thing about the customs. Yes, very lately, 27th January, India and the European Union signed a new agreement on tariffs. The tariffs were reduced on some goods even up to 90%. I don't know the details, but they are reduced very strongly. So the European Union is India's largest trading partner, exporting about 120 billion euros worth of goods in 2024. To underline all this, the European Union offers you an affluent and stable business atmosphere. I believe that your Indian companies have very good opportunity and potential to thrive. Just think, I mean, we all are used in India dealing with 29 different states, different cultures. If you are in Mumbai, you know that, okay, customer is in, don't know, West Bengal or extreme south, Kerala, but we are used to deal with that. And the European Union is not much different. English is accepted everywhere. Of course, there are regional languages, but with English you can manage. So, and we Indians are very entrepreneurial. That's why I believe that the atmosphere, the EU atmosphere or EU market is a good market for Indian companies. Now, uh, talking about the statistics, the European Lift Association has 31 members, including the United Kingdom, which is not the part of EU. 164,000 or almost 165,000 employees in 2023. Existing lifts, 6.7 million units. Up until about 15 years back, the highest number of lifts existed in Europe. I mean, Spain had higher number of lifts than in China, around 15 years almost, or 10 years, 15 years. Italy had higher lifts than in China, about 20 years back. Yeah, so we have about 6.7 million units here. Escalators, 168,000. New lifts, I give the numbers. What could be interesting for you if you are a producer of components for lift industry? The lift modernization. So out of this 6.73 million units, just think if they are around 40 years old, built in, don't know, 1980s, installed in 1980s, they would be either renovated or completely changed. And that's a huge market in Europe. Then, yeah, new escalators value. So these are the numbers that you could have a look. The mode business or modernization business, as I said, has uh, requirements, safety norms for existing lifts, snail. Why? Because population, people live longer, like in India, they are getting older, and the older lifts, they were installed according to the older codes. They may not suit today to the safety standards of today. That's why there's a requirement to update them, refurbish them according to the new standards. It's quite a lucrative business. One can do full modernization or partial modernization. I must tell you, okay, full modernization, that means completely changing the lift. Then you have to adore. If you change the lift completely, then you have to install that according to the current European norm, EN code. But if you do some partial modernization, you might do it according to the previous code, how this lift was installed. So, but don't underestimate European, then, especially Italy, Spain, Germany. There are suppliers. They offer complete solutions, complete mode solutions, offering cabin doors, etc. And small and middle-sized companies, they offer competitive solutions compared with the bigger companies like Otis, Schindler, etc. What is important is, you might understand, the modernization is done in the building where people are living already. So just-in-time delivery of the components very crucial, very crucial. Because a date is set when the old lift will be taken and when or the modernization will be done. There is a short time, maybe just not even a week. And if the one component fails to arrive in time, then they are stuck. So the companies could be very sensitive to this issue, supply. So key target countries, in my opinion, German-speaking countries are good one. Germany, Austria, Switzerland, with a strong market for new installation and as well as full modernization, higher margin. Italy and Spain, they're also, as I said, highly active, plenty of small and medium-sized companies offering very specialized solutions like doors, custom-made cabins. Yeah. East European countries also coming up, like Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. There is boom for new installations there. The Nordic countries like Finland, Sweden, Norway. Norway is not in the European Union, but still, yes, there is good market there. Especially um, they also focused on carbon footprint. That means they want to know how the manufacturing was done, what was the carbon emission, etc. So don't forget this point in your marketing. Try to mention that the steps you have taken to reduce the carbon footprints. Codes, standards, and the law, information that you would know, especially, yeah, if you are a complete lift supplier, which I don't think so at the moment. But for component suppliers, I mean, especially safety components, there are some specific rules and regulations which you should know. The EN code currently in yeah 8120, current version is 2020. It says safety rules for the construction and installation of lifts. This code is important not also for the European Union, but also other countries, because in the end, almost all Asian countries kind of take from this code. Yeah, they took the input from them code. China as well, India as well, many Asian countries. They take the inputs from this code. Then what I call or not what I call, but what generally it is called harmonized EU law. That is a kind of a law. The EN is a code, but again, they are interconnected. We cannot separate them. Here, the law, it is called Lift Directive 2014. It is concerned with the safety components, which are specifically mentioned there. There is one Annex 3. There it mentions all the safety components, door locks, hydraulic buffers, um, yeah, safety switches, etc. And then there is one requires the CE mark, conformity European, not a China export mark. Yes, there were some components here in Europe, China export CE mark, but it's not the one. It's the European CE mark. The UK CA is for United Kingdom. Until they were in the EU, they had the CE mark, but now they have this UK CE mark. Then the safety norms for existing lifts, which I shortly mentioned, it is required for safety of the older lifts which were installed according to the older codes. For example, there were plenty of lifts in Europe without the car door, which is also not common in India, but they were installed and accidents used to happen. People have died, and that's why this is a mandatory now since years to refit with the car doors. Yeah. Then CRA, it is something for IoT and digital connectivity for cybersecurity. If you are supplying components for IoT, then you need to be aware of that as well. Other requirements might be there. So the EU says, well, this is the minimum regulations, but if the local rules require a higher standard, then you have to follow the higher standard. So there could be some local regulations. Uh, Also, traceability is important. Documentation, especially for the safety components, important. Yeah. And then the last point, I'm not so clearly aware how is it in India, but in Europe, it is the installer or the company which brings the lift into market is responsible, not the producer of the lift, but who installed it. Yeah, and actually also the lift inspectors, TÜV, etc. But in the end, it's the installer who has the responsibility for the safe functioning of the lift. Okay. Now coming to the marketing and sales strategies. Yeah, you must be from different companies, producers, or just service providers, or just you are in my presentation. Just okay, let's have a look. Let's hear. You're welcome. But I'm focusing more or less on producers in India. I would advise, if you are doing like low complexity, low barrier products, for example, pit ladders, hoistway lighting, rubber buffers, etc., it might be a bit easier to enter the market. Plug and play products like wire harness is definitely a product which it's easier to enter, or products which are used in lifts, but you don't have to consider the configuration like the ropes or guide rails. So the configuration is done by the lift company or the installers, or but you provide these components. If you are supplying safety components like safety gear or speed governor, etc., brake liners, then or brakes, definitely they need the CE certification, and you have to certify them. It could be quite costly. Other idea, what I would other so suggestion or some tips from my side is you might also want to produce standard components for multinational companies, which they used to produce once, but they don't have. They don't produce anymore, but there are smaller companies which are maintaining their lifts, and they might need these components. So you might want to produce these components. Design engineering, back office services, why not? It's also a good idea. You can explore. Marketing, I mean, I always tell before doing anything, do a very good marketing study. What is the size? Who are your buyers? Competitors, who are your competitors? What price, etc. And your growth plan, that is extremely important. So first, do the market study um, before you start selling or exporting. I also tell that make yourself known to the customers first uh, before selling, and everything else follows. Make yourself known to the customers. Who are you? Who are the owners of the company? What is your yearly turnover? What was your growth? Where is your focus? Be transparent, be open. This is important to enter the market. And also prompt communication. I mean, uh, any customer, even in India, would like that, but in Europe, it's more or less expected, especially if you're a seller. Any queries are answered promptly. Or at least you tell, okay, sorry, I got your email, I got your inquiry. I need some time because it's complex. I will come back to you in 15 days or whatever it is. And always have a long-term strategy. Then, if you are intending to do direct sales, direct export, as I mentioned, you also would need the CE mark documentation. So there is what you call EU compliance that is required for selling any goods in the European Union. You have this, so to say, the number, EORI number. This you can have yourself, but normally companies, yeah, have a local operator which has this number for you. And you give this number when you're exporting. Must be given for the customs. Direct sales from India, yes, you might yeah, have higher margin, but it could be also um, efforts are quite high, yeah, until you achieve some results. You can have indirect export. What I mean by indirect export, that you have a local agency which is well established or a sole distributor. You can also establish your company in one of the EU countries. Yeah? Maybe that's a possibility, depending on your strategy, your vision, and your business. Other strategies, I would say, just don't stick to the low-cost supplier. India, of course, here also one thinks India, low-cost supplier. Go to a certified technology partner, for example. Yeah? Technology focus there and be certified and say technology partner. Yeah? Or go for a cooperation of a supplier in Europe who also supplies to other lift companies, smaller, medium, etc. Build a cooperation with them. That will make it much easier, and you have a broader market, long-term market. Naturally, you need to have a good partner then. You can also manufacture in India, contract manufacturing. Uh, You can also manufacture in partnership. I mean, technology, they give you the technology, European company, you say, okay, we will produce that in India. You have spare capacity, you will produce that for them. Mm, Yeah, or some investor in Europe itself who will say, okay, good, we will take care of the European part. Other point, the last one is also, yeah, why not take over a small company in Europe? That will make it much easier and direct for you. Yeah. Once again, aim for a long-term vision. The European Union, yeah, it's not meant for quick money. You have to have a long-term vision. Finally, yes, some questions you might ask yourself. Yeah, what is our business plan, strategy? Do I need new capital to enter EU? Which country, where I will start with? Who suits as a partner? What kind of partnership? So these are the questions you should ask yourself. I mean, can we leverage our production or services? Why not? Yes, I mean, you are producing for lift companies, but maybe the same components might be needed for some other industry. So you might be able to leverage that and expand your market. Yeah. So think about such points. From my side, I end it now. I hope I am in time. Oh, yes, I'm very much in time, 40 minutes, since Neelam gave me the mic. I'm open for the questions. I hope you had already written those questions, but otherwise you can do that now. I'm open for that, please. So let me just stop sharing, right, Neelam?
Yes, you can stop sharing. Otherwise, anybody wants to
Yes,
note your contact details,
that's right.
so they can have a view. Thank you, Ronald sir. Attendees, if you have any questions, please put it down in the Q&A box. Take this side. There's one anonymous question. Which country in Europe would be ideal for producing lift components?
This is difficult to answer. So generally, you have to look at which country would suit you. I mean, you must understand each country. Some countries are quite not economically so advanced. Let's say Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary. But Germany has a very good infrastructure, but the cost, manufacturing cost could be quite high. Taxes could be high. Like Hungary, it has only 10% flat tax on the corporate tax, low wages. Bulgaria, Romania, these are the countries definitely will be interesting to you for the Indian manufacturers. But if you want to go high tech component, if you're having high tech component, then Germany or Austria, Italy, all are good. And of course, which country is nearer to you? From the nearest is Hungary. Also, I think nearest is Bulgaria. Flight time, yeah, from Delhi or from Mumbai. The farthest is Portugal. So all these points have to be considered. Considered.
Next question is from Mr. Umar Shankar.
Mhm.
We are manufacturer of EM brakes for gearless machines. Could you please advise what would be the business volume, like how many gearless machine produced in EU, and what is your advice as being steps to explore this business?
Um, so Okay, but anyhow, the brakes for gearless machines, okay, yeah, electromagnetic brakes, correct, okay. First of all, I mean that there is market. There is market. There is also good competition. There are known companies which are well established uh, from Germany, from Switzerland, also from Italy. The market is there. Market is quite big. I mean, there are this sorry, the motor manufacturers like Sashi, Zil, Abek, etc. There are also plenty of small manufacturers. I cannot tell you exactly, okay, what is the figure, what is the market. Maybe I can just have a small research. There is market, uh, but it might be rather tough for testing, certification, etc., etc. So, um, yeah, I mean, if you can send me some details, maybe I can give you some other information, some advanced information. Um, but electromagnetic brakes for gearless machine, it is clearly a safety component. It has to go through the certification. It has to be tested, and all this thing could take time and also quite a bit of investment. Yeah. And if there is more, if you need, just send me an email and I can go through that.
Our next question is from Mr. Hitesh from Labdi Metal Private Limited.
Mhm.
We are stainless steel surface manufacturer in India, Maharashtra. We are expanding and can give all types of SO finishes. Which country is suitable for us, and what type of companies can we cater? From where we can get the data of such buyers?
Ooh, I mean, data to get is easy. You can go to Chamber of Commerce of any country. Let's take the Chamber of Commerce, Germany, at the German consulate in Mumbai or New Delhi. They would provide you the data. It's much easy. You can also online, you can get the data. But stainless steel, I presume you are talking about stainless steel used on the landing doors, car cabin. So you can easily contact the car manufacturers, door manufacturers, and as I said, don't go and give them a quotation and say, okay, we are cheap, etc. No, go and develop a relation with them. Tell them who you are. So try that with two, three companies, explore them, what they do and what you do and what are your vision if it tallies. And so just to sell it immediately, that will be difficult. Again, if you need something concrete, the data, I can search for you, I can get it for you. Send me please an email. Uh, There is market here. In this case, I would advise you to go into a cooperation, even with a smaller company, small companies, let's say in Czech Republic. Yeah, it's a really good idea. You might have some know-how. The Czech company might have some know-how. You have the steel. You can ship it and make doors. That means you are adding value addition, and you can make the doors and sell the doors or the cabins. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, continuing to the question, what type of certification we may required to sell our SS steels? What type of certificates?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that clear, definite information because it is about the steel. But it can be, yeah, found out. I mean, as I said, there are steel associations. You can just Google. You will find the certification is easier to find. That's just Google and you will find it. It's not a big deal.
Next question is, as I understand, goods and services are sold in other European countries without customs, is it then allowed to have a different sales price?
Yes, yeah, I understand. That means if you are exporting, let us say, any country in European Union, let's say you are exporting first to Italy, or let's say Hungary, which is a low income country, Hungary. You you pay customs in that country first. The customs are uniform. You don't pay higher or lower customs if you export to any country in the European Union. It's the same customs, but you can set different prices. Let's say if you are re-exporting or selling it in Germany, and German is a higher income country, and you can set a higher price. It is allowed. But there are some rules. Uh, One important rule is you cannot discriminate um, German customers, for example. If the German customer comes to know, okay, the same product is available cheaper in Hungary, you cannot tell that German customer, no, no, we won't sell you, you have to buy it in Germany, where the prices are higher. You cannot tell that. There were cases, companies were fined. For example, VW, you might know, it's a car manufacturer. They were fined heavily some years back, about 20 or 15 years back. So they were doing, Austrians were going to Germany because the cars were cheaper in Germany. So when they went in Germany to buy one particular model, for example, they compared the price. Okay, what's the German price for this model in Germany and what is the price in Austria? And VW had given clear instructions to their dealers not to sell to any customers in other countries than in Germany. And this went to the court, and VW was heavily fined. So there are rules. Also, on the geolocation, you cannot do that. Yeah. That means if you are selling something online, you can do the geolocation, but you cannot say, okay, I will increase the price because you are in Germany. And if you are in Hungary, it will be lower. No. What is different also, the VAT, value added tax, is different in different countries. Germany has a higher value added taxes, so the prices can also change there. Yes, the question is, you can have different prices.
Moving on to our next question. As in Indian market, we have three type of customers. One is price sensitive, one is mid segment who
Mhm.
balances price and quality, plus
Yeah,
third is premium customer who looks after
yeah,
brand and experience.
yeah,
Uh, like how is it in European market?
yeah. How is it in Europe? Yeah, it's quite the same. Sorry, I'm just trying to sit down.
Yes, yes.
Uh, yes. Um, yeah, I mean, there's the same thing. I mean, there are different segments: premium segment, middle segment, a lower segment. And also the products in the lift itself are different. All the companies, they have these products. If a customer is just building a building so that he will sell the flats, then he goes for a medium or lower segment because he's just building it. He is not that keen how long the lift will run. So yes, it's the same thing. We human beings are everywhere quite the same, India or Europe.
Yes, yes. Another question is what is a corporate tax rate in EU?
Oh, there is no uniform corporate tax rate in the EU. Um, there are, it's a elaborate subject. I will keep it very simple. Germany, etc., they have a higher corporate tax, almost could be around 25 to 30%. Uh, Austria also, but the lowest is Hungary, Bulgaria. They have flat rates, 10%, 10% on the income. I think Bulgaria is only 9%. Um, but Yeah, so there is no uniform corporate tax. Good is also Switzerland, and if you manufacture in Switzerland, you can export to European Union, although Switzerland is not a part of European Union, which has lower. I mean, Switzerland has naturally lower corporate taxes.
Yes, thank you. Any other
Okay.
questions from the attendees? I think so, Ronald. So, Ronald sir, we don't have any other further questions. I would like to thank you for sharing the information with the Indian companies, and we truly appreciate your time for taking time out and giving the information to the industry because, of course, you are sitting in different time zone, and we really appreciate the your efforts.
Thanks, Nilam, for this, I mean, organization. I was glad that I can give this information to you. I mean, to all the colleagues there. And as I said, maybe you are free to share my email. If somebody needs some specific support, they can
Sure.
contact me. If they have some questions, they can contact me. I'm here. As I said, the European Union is, in my opinion, a strong market for lift component manufacturers in India, but you have to have a long-term strategy and find the right partner. Yeah. All
Correct.
right.
Yes, coming to the audience, thank you for joining us today. Your presence and participation means a lot to us. Your and it really motivates us and to our team to like continue organizing such a knowledge sharing initiatives for the industry. So thank you for taking time out and joining us today. As a reminder, the sessions happens every Tuesday. Our next session will be on 14th April. Thank you once again for joining us today. Let's stay connected. Thank you, Ronald. So have a good day.
Thank you. Bye then. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, bye.